Unturned is presented by UpdateAI.
But let's actually remember the customer, what they're buying is actually not just the technology, but they're buying the experience. And that experience has to tie to your product really tightly. And that's why I hope that over time, product people say, wow, part of my product is this team and this process, It's not just the software. I think we got to get out of the world of purists. It's all about the customer. If we even think about our company's success, we're not doing a good job. I'm like, we all have jobs.
Yeah, and I want to keep it.
Nobody's doing charity work over here.
No, exactly.
Nick Mehta, how do you feel about the current state of customer success and how most organizations are putting us back under revenue again? What are your trends and what are you feeling about the state of customer success? There's a shit ton of consolidation. There's a shit ton of big movers coming in and buying people up and smashing things together. Where is it from your perspective?
Okay, can I go to the important
stuff?
Nick,
go to real questions.
What are you wearing this Pulse?
Oh, God.
You asked him that
the game that we played last year. Last year, we all tried to guess. Then we saw you. I know you're not going to reveal.
I
guess again?
I give you a hint and you can do your guessing and I'm not going to react. The hint is the theme of Pulse this year is the 1980s. Is this the beginning, one of those TV news breaks where we're supposed to pretend to be talking to each other while the audio is playing?
Yeah.
I mean, usually we are talking to each other, but...
We actually usually ignore the guest for the first minute, and it's very uncomfortable.
Yeah, so if you could just be quiet, Nick, just give us 10 minutes, fuck off a little bit.
Nick already went into a power play, but you know what?
He just left.
I mean, Nick knows who he is, right? He's like, fuck that, I am talking first, guys. Nick, why don't you introduce us, please?
Yeah, exactly.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Jon and Kristi. I think they do some work every now and then when not being entertaining podcasters. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
actually,
there's a good chance that we don't.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Unchurned. I'm Josh. There's Kristi. There's Jon. And as you all know now, we have Nick Mehta on the show. We're very excited about that. Yeah, woohoo. This is our annual pre-Pulse get-together. And we're really excited. Nick, by the way, we're actually, unlike other podcasts, we don't take 2 weeks to air this thing. This is going to be out on Wednesday in 2 days. So we get a lot of good intel for folks before they head out to St. Louis.
Aren't we supposed to pretend it's actually Wednesday? You just broke the cardinal rule of podcasting.
Yeah, but Jon breaks it. Jon breaks it every week. Yeah,
every time. I have no professionalism, Nick.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hey, Nick, this wasn't on the list, but your head is in the way that you just moved momentarily, and there was a big easel behind you that looked really interesting.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh, shoot.
Yeah,
covered up.
We zoomed in for a second.
It was mergers and acquisitions 2024.
Yeah, it's literally our company strategy right there. There. You can't see it. Exactly.
Yeah. Can you bring it forward a little bit? That's what we actually just want to run
dive
through.
In.
Yeah.
It says, make better decisions on which podcast to join. That was number one. On the list.
It's pretty typical.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Zing.
I mean, it was not related to you, obviously. Other
you knew better already, Nick. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we're super excited to have you. We're super excited about Pulse. I'll be there. We're a sponsor this year, and that's awesome. We're super pumped about that with Update.
Grateful for that. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. I mean, my first question for you, Nick, is why'd you get kicked out of San Francisco?
That's why I want to know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's funny because we've been in San Francisco for so many years and doing it most recently at Moscone Center. And it was awesome. San Francisco, amazing city. I live in Palo Alto, just south of San Francisco. But, customer success is everywhere. And one of our original offices at Gainsight was in St. Louis. We're like, oh, it'd be fun to do it in the Midwest. So it's awesome. We have, a few thousand people will be flying out. And, it's not the easiest place to get to. So if you're coming out to St. Louis, you're committed to customer success. So it's going to be great. I'm really excited.
I actually think
by the way, it's also you're a bigger deal doing a tech conference in St. Louis than you are in San Francisco.
Yes.
Surprising. So I'm assuming it's going to be renamed Saint Customer Success next week. That was my assumption.
Saint Mehta.
Saint Mehta. No, yeah, maybe Saint Josh. I think that's all. Saint Kristi.
Yeah.
When Taylor Swift did the first Eras tour stop in Phoenix, it was in Glendale, and they renamed the area Swift City for the day. So I'm thinking that's going to happen for us.
Nick, are you a Taylor Swift fan? Cool. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I know. It's really subtle, right?
Yeah.
I was going to say, Nick, we're all taking a shot every time you say Taylor Swift, and we're expected to be gone in the next 10 minutes. So
easily. Yeah,
this was already part of it. We've got another bingo card too that we're not going to tell you about until the end.
No, but I'm going to start over. So I'm going to, without the talking points, Nick, why is it in St. Louis this year?
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Everything I said.
That's it. Love it.
I love it.
Okay, cool.
I don't have talking points, people. I don't even read. I don't even look at what meeting I'm in right now. So
this is
That's why I
just a
showed up,
regular
guys.
meeting. Yeah.
Okay,
exactly.
can I go to the important
Yeah,
stuff?
go
Nick,
to
what are
real
you wearing?
questions.
What are you wearing this pulse?
Oh God.
You asked him
We
that
played the game that we
last
played
year.
last year. Last year, we all tried to guess. Then we saw you. I know you're not going to reveal.
But
Okay,
asked
should we
him a
guess
question.
again?
I give you a hint and you can do your guessing and I'm not going to react. The hint is the theme of Pulse this year is the 1980s.
Oh, that's right. I didn't know that. Okay.
So you're going to moonwalk on stage.
That would be very bad.
No. Listen, we were just talking about this with a friend of mine. All the different aesthetics that there were in the 80s, right? You can go like the gym, like unitard working out vibe. You can go 80s hip hop. You could go 80s rock. You can go 80s like preppy. Like if you think about like the rich kids and all like those pretty
Ralph
pink
Lauren.
movies like that. Yeah. Like
Pop
you have the
collars.
jacket with the button down, really open, big hair. Can you all be wearing the windbreaker outfits? Could you all be doing that?
That is a cool idea. That may or may not
Like
be.
if you all just had that on, I think I would appreciate
like
that
the
aesthetic.
windbreaker. That's a good idea. I like
Right?
Neon windbreakers. Yeah.
Right. And maybe like fanny packs too, just like because that like would
Fanny
just like
packs.
tie it off.
fanny packs every decade, Kristi. Come on. that's
Yeah.
not-
I
They
actually
are.
just got
I mean,
a new
listen,
one.
I wear my John wore his fanny pack to New York and got robbed.
I did. I still think Zendaya stole my wallet, guys.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain.
Gosh.
I got
Zendaya
stuck
can
in
do-
New York last weekend.
Zendaya can do everything. She's amazing.
Yeah, she's so great at stealing my wallet and my IDs. And
Was your wallet in your fanny pack?
yes, and I took my
kinda
phone out
deserve
to
that.
take. Yes,
I mean,
Look.
just realistically, you're like, let me take my wallet and put it as far away from my body as possible. And if you could just easily rip off, who's the victim? Who's the villain here? I think it's you.
Yeah, I think it's me. No, but I did get some really great photos of Zendaya with other people that I'm very happy with. So I feel like the trade-off was.
Are you getting text from? Well, if you get your phone back, you're going to be getting text from like Tom Holland or something like that.
No. So him and I have been talking. Actually, hold on, let me check.
Yeah.
He says, "Oh, I can't share that."
What does he think of customer success? What does Spider-Man think of customer success?
That's so funny. They're both so tiny, by the way. This is one thing that I did not
It is
realize.
tall, I thought.
But I'm 6 foot, and she is like still little. So I actually kind
Like
of
little
expected
like
her-
me, John, or smaller?
No, Tom's little like you.
Okay.
Tom Holland's shorter? Oh yeah, he is. I've seen photos.
Well, Zendaya is a friggin' tree trunk. So
This is a pop culture podcast, right? Is that what we're doing, or is it?
yeah. No, we're heavily into the
Customer
BS
success in
part.
the wild.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're breaking down the Kendrick Lamar Drake thing, which I don't really know anything about yet. I have to read about it. So.
No, I actually want more beef back. I don't know. Did you guys listen? Josh and I went to an emo concert in New York last weekend.
That
A
sounds perfect.
screamo band. And if you remember, if you were ever into kind of like those days, they used to beef. All of these emo bands would like write songs about each other, and it was almost very similar to what hip hop is doing right now.
Yeah,
I mean, hip hop has always done it,
Always
you know.
done that, yeah.
But it
John,
was
so
like-
are you suggesting that we bring this to customer success?
Yeah. I want to
We need
start
a
a
beef.
beef, and I mean, we got
we're gonna start beef. Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, I feel like the obvious beef is Nick Mehta against whatever the fuck is going on with Tango and Catalyst. Like, we just need.
I got no beef.
No. You just let them beef internally because they're
Maybe
doing their
HubSpot?
fine job there.
No,
Like
what
they don't
about
need anybody
HubSpot?
else to beef with them. That's
Like-
fine. Just let them play this out. It's okay.
Can we do like a HubSpot beef or something?
Co-CEOs might be a
Just
recipe.
watch. We're just gonna watch. We're gonna eat popcorn. We're gonna watch. We just let it do its thing. It's gonna
It's like
happen
celebrity
organically.
deathmatch.
I love popcorn. It's so good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exact. Same.
Yeah.
Just here for the show.
So listen, I think 80s theme. I think Nick is going out there in a trench coat, no pants, with a stereo speaker above his head. It's going to be like the John Cusack say anything.
Okay. I was wondering
we're
where you're
doing
going with this.
anything.
Yeah,
Say
Say
anything.
anything.
Yeah.
You just didn't have to do the no pants.
I didn't have to. No.
Josh, that
Yeah,
was
because
like
he was wearing pants. He was wearing shorts,
I
right?
don't
He was wearing
believe
shorts.
that
in
I'm
that.
gonna- Sorry, for people thinking about attending Pulse, I will be wearing pants. I want you to know I will be wearing pants.
And Nick, we should encourage everyone else to wear pants
Yes.
too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Pants are a very good part of corporate culture. Yeah. Or
Yeah.
anything that is covering your
coverage.
Yeah.
Coverage. We're just looking for coverage.
I feel like we got off track, guys.
Yeah. John, bring us back. Let's ask a CS question.
So, Nick, I'm curious. How are you feeling this year?
About Pulse? Oh my God.
Oh, no, wait. Sorry, Nick, don't answer. Don't answer.
What?
Like we John, we said we weren't going to ask like the lame. So
The
are you?
question?
Yeah, like well, are you excited for Pulse?
Like customer success.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
fine.
yeah,
Let's
yeah.
do it. I'm going to do it. Shut up, Josh.
Okay, go.
Here we go. I got the question, Nick. It's
Here we
written
go.
on a piece of paper right next to here, and it says, ask this question. Nick Mehta, how do you feel about the current state of customer success and how most organizations are putting us back under revenue again? What are your trends and what are you feeling about the state of customer success? There's a shit ton of consolidation. There's a shit ton of big movers coming in and buying people up and smashing things together. Where is it from your perspective? Kind of the grandfather of what the fuck we're doing here? Like, you literally wrote the book on this. So I want to...
literally, he wrote 3 books.
4 books.
Is the digital one the 4th book, Nick? Is that the 4th book?
5th book.
No.
I don't know. I think we're like a book publishing company now.
Yeah. No, but I want to hear where your brain is at on this, coming from the history and then what you're seeing moving into. Is that good enough for you, Josh?
I love it. Good, well done, John.
It was very long-winded, though, John.
Yeah, that's typical for me.
I have to try to figure out where the question was in that.
Time's up on our podcast now. Great seeing
Bye,
you
guys.
But yes, it's like what I'm going to talk about is it's not an easy time. Like being real for like 1 second. Are we allowed to be real on this podcast? Doesn't feel
Oh gosh, we only want people to be real, Nick.
It doesn't feel like that's part of the theme, but okay, let's be real. It's hard. Like you guys all know, like you see people, the hardest thing for me is just seeing like people getting laid off and looking for jobs. I'm sure you guys get, Kristi, you do so much for the community and like, you must get emails all the time. Like I do, people looking for work and you try to help them. And I kind of always look at a ratio of like number of people that have reached out to look for jobs in a week and number of companies that have said, hey, I'm looking for somebody. And the good news is the ratio is getting a little better. It's not very scientific, but I get a lot of requests. So last year it might've been like in a week, I get like 20 emails from people looking for jobs and like maybe one company looking for a job. Now it's probably come back to like, maybe 10 people reach out to me looking for jobs and 2 companies are hiring. So that's good. I think there's a little bit of a ramp up. So John, I think there's like a really tough last year for people and SaaS in general, not just customer success. It's just SaaS. SaaS is in a malaise right now, right? It's like that our theme is like the 80s and we like Breakfast Club and all that. And we're like, SaaS is in detention right now. It really is. Right. And so that's like, let's just be real. And it's hard. And it's everything from layoffs, people being asked to like deliver the same results with half the number of staff, right? You cut half your team, but by the way, you still have the same accountability on numbers. Customer expectations, I'm sure, I don't know about you guys, but like everywhere, it's like customers want another discount. They want to drop their licenses. They want to downsize their contract everywhere, right? Every company is dealing with this. So it's like the pressure from customers is higher. The pressure from your company is higher. You're worried about your own job. Like let's just be real. Now, on the flip side, the truth is it's still never been more important, like what we all do, like the business outcome of like retention. Good, positive thing. I'll share just a little anecdote. Once a year, Stanford Business School has a class on sales and they have me come in and do a day on customer success. And it's awesome because it's like nice to go to that because you get to see, despite all their challenges, they're like, yeah, this is the future. All these like students in Stanford Business School are like super deep on customer success. And so I think part of the message is going to be, we're like in a low point. So we all know when you're in a low point, things do get better. But the thing I'm also saying is we can't just keep doing the same things and expect different results. Like I've done so many pulses where I'm like, it's all about the customer. We need to get everyone aligned around the customer. How come we're not more customer focused? And it doesn't work. That doesn't work at all. And so I think a couple of things, John, like, yes, there's a huge trend of CS being aligned to revenue. I don't think it's 100%. I see some people looking to have a separate CCO, but it's absolutely like the wind is shifting in that direction. And how do you make that work? How do you actually make, like, rather than complaining about it, how do you say, how do CS become more accountable for revenue? In some cases, I know it's heretical, but some cases they should be have a quote.
I agree with you.
But I think this wrong with sales, right? Like that sales is part of how a company runs. So that's one thing we'll talk about. Another thing, obviously, is like, digital and AI, not just the buzzword aspect of it, but how they actually can help us get through the like budget challenge we have, efficiency and scale. We use this term, you're going to talk about a lot next week, human first AI. How do you use AI to make us all more human by taking all the rote work off of us? Because like Gainsight's, maybe other companies as well, we're guilty party number one. you use Gainsight and you got to check this thing off and enter this field and add this thing and report to your boss. And nobody likes that stuff, right? And how do you get human first AI to help take that stuff off your plate and do the things you really love? And what's crazy is like, you guys are probably experimenting with it too. Actually, Josh obviously knows it very well. And like,
it's on his hat.
Josh, do you do any AI? Is that like, have you thought about that?
We're experimenting.
Okay, good. All right. It's cool. I'll send you the ChatGPT sign up link. I get a referral credit if I send it through. But like, you look at it and this stuff isn't perfect, but it's come a long way. And there's actually an ability to see a world. Like one of the things I'd love to see is a couple of years from now, CSMs do no data entry whatsoever.
Amen.
Nothing. There's not, right? What Josh is doing with Update's a good starting point for that, right? How do you eliminate data entry for CSMs? How do you eliminate the manual updates and give them more time? So there's sort of part of it is acknowledge the reality. Part of it's saying, if we're going to be more aligned to sales and revenue, make that a good thing, not a bad thing. And then versus being the purist, I think we got to get out of the world of purists. Like it's all about the customer. If we even think about our company's success, we're not doing a good job. I'm like, we all have jobs.
Yeah. And I want to keep it.
Like nobody's doing charity work over here.
No, exactly.
No, and I think this is one of the things though, Nick, and I actually I have been really, really fighting this desire to be like, God, I actually want to be back under revenue. I think that's kind of where maybe we lost it a little bit is the last 3 or 4 years, we were just so kind of unmoored because it's like, well, what is your value? Oh, usage or clicks or, hey, they like me or we did this thing or we did all of these check boxes. And you're like, yeah, but if we don't do that, the sales guys are still getting paid and the renewal guys are still getting upsells. I want growth. I want to own and prove that the relationships that I have built have led to more money for this company, because that's how, when I go into my review cycle for a promotion or raise, I say, I generated $800,000 last year and it's because of me, and we can tie it back to me. And I think we lost a lot of stuff over the last few years, removing us from revenue. Not that the CCO model isn't great, Kristi, RIP, but this idea that you are no longer
good thing I'm good at sales.
I know, but that's the thing is you gotta have that perspective.
Yeah, I would go to Gainsight and I would sell so much of it, Nick.
All right. Well, hey, we got to have a conversation. Let's go. LFG.
Hey, everybody, it's Josh. I'm taking a quick break from the podcast to tell you a bit about UpdateAI. I started UpdateAI to solve 2 major challenges for CS teams. The first is that we save CSMs 4 to 5 hours per week with our productivity through AI. Secondly, we give leaders a window into all the conversations across each account and the entire portfolio. So we help knowledge transfer, we help increase the coverage model of your CS teams, and we help you detect emerging patterns in what your customers are telling your CSMs across all the risks, product feedback, advocacy moments, and expansion opportunities. So come check us out at www.updateai. It's completely free to sign up and trial.
All right, John, we interrupted you with our not meaningless banter there.
No, I've already lost. I'm already distracted.
I think we prefer the job negotiation between Kristi and Nick right now.
Give me money.
No. Hold on. No. We're talking about
money,
the revenue.
please.
So but what I like about all that, about us owning revenue, is the accountability it drives.
Yes,
I feel like everyone lost accountability.
Yeah.
And that's the big thing, right? Think about salespeople. They are accountable because they have numbers and metrics and targets to hit. When you remove those from customer success, the accountability is gone. The work we do is different.
I 100% agree. And I think long-term, honestly, if you're in a career-wise, if you're like somebody starting your career, if you're not eventually associated with the revenue in some way, like, and you can't tell people like, this is the metric I move, it's like, you're never going to move up. I mean, it'd be hard to keep your job, but even then, like, hard to move up in a company, right? You got to be associated with something that matters financially to the company. There's nothing wrong with that. That's kind of cool again, right? It's just like the metrics and what actually matters. And in customer success, it's funny. I'm sure you feel this way, all three of you, like, the term is awesome in a way because it is truly like a really encompassing term, but it's also so vague.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not saying we need to change the term because it is what it is, right? And say we didn't create Salesforce really came up with this term. It's a great term, but you know what I mean? Like, it's like pretty vague. And I think a lot of people are like, what does it actually mean? I was talking to someone recently, actually, he's basically like COO, but he has CCO responsibilities too at a company that makes government software. And they have their churn rate per year is like 2% or something like that, right? So he's like, you can't get people animated about churn, right? But they know that we need to do more stuff for our customers because in many cases their clients didn't really like their software; they just were stuck with it. And we were talking about how can you position it to be more tangible around revenue, and in this case around adoption, but not just success, right? I think that's the challenge is like customer success manager is the best and worst term in the world, right?
Yeah. No, it's funny, this idea of terminologies. Back when I was under a CRO before, when somebody asked me what I did, I was like, oh, revenue retention. Like, I make sure that that was so simple to say that. And I was actually at a guitar center in Raleigh, North Carolina this weekend, and I met this girl in the synth section, and we were like,
you just want to drop all how cool you are, huh?
No. We were like talking about what we were doing, and I was just like talking around what I do is strategy and customers, and she was doing the same thing. And it turns out she's a recruiter in customer success, and I am in customer success. And we finally were like, I feel like something's broken here, right? Because like people still don't really know what this term is. Yes. And we don't know that other people know what this term is, right? It was like, I say customer success and be like, oh, what does that mean, right? And then you have to have that whole conversation.
Can we change it? Nick, can we change it?
No, don't change the title.
We'll just have to go on Google and change it everywhere.
Oh, if there's one person in the world that could
kind of replace
your sixth book, Nick,
it would be you, Nick. Yes. Can we write a book on this? Customer growth, customer renewal and expansion.
It's funny because I will say, joking aside, like I think it is hard to change because it became people's careers. So I think it's more like we just have to make it mean what it needs to mean, right? And what it does mean in the heart of it, I think we just have been pretty poor at articulating as an industry what this actually means that a non-CSM Kool-Aid drinker would get. Like I think that might be one of the problems we have is like Pulse is amazing, but it sort of leads to a bit of a illusion that everyone thinks this way. Or everyone uses this terminology. When I talk to CEOs, like improving customer lifetime value, retention, whatever, it's obvious. Like nobody's like, oh my God, that's a dumb idea. Yeah. They don't make the connection to why their CSM team is helping, right? That's what they miss. We haven't done a good job making that connection.
I like what you just said about lifetime value because, coming from like a B2C and kind of marketing world, that is such an obvious term.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of this, the B2B world is so anti-terminologies from B2C. We have to separate ourselves so much. But that actually does tie in really nicely to what we do. We want to increase the lifetime value of every customer.
We increase lifetime value, 100%. That's like the job. And we help the company increase the lifetime value by like other people doing the right things too. Yeah. That's what we do. We just need to do it.
But the problem is everyone's doing it differently at each company, right? And so there becomes this challenge because, I don't know that I've spoken to 3 different people in customer success and had them describe the work that they're doing day in, day out.
Same.
And it looks, well, right. Nobody does it the same way. The focus is different. There is, again, varying degrees of accountability in the business and their contributions. So there is no, like, the problem is that even if we standardize what the term means, we have to standardize the practice then too. Look at sales. No one's sitting here with sales and marketing and all these other things and trying to figure out, like, even though it might look a little different from company to company, it's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. There's nuances. Customer success doesn't have that. It's like every company is operating like it's an own universe.
I thought a lot about that over the years. You probably have too, Kristi, where you want to standardize. And we all know there's not like a one size fits all because obviously
right.
very different if you have $1 million customer versus $100,000 customer selling into security versus selling a marketing tech application or whatever, right? So I think we all agree there's some flavors of it. I think one other thing though I'd add in is when people use that analogy of, hey, sales is very similar company, marketing similar. One thing to think about is though customer success, it's almost like it's part of the product. And the product is not similar company to company, right? The product at like Palo Alto Networks and UpdateAI and OpenAI ChatGPT, they couldn't be more different, right? And so I think there's part of it that's let's standardize some of the practices, but let's actually like remember the customer, what they're buying is actually not just the technology, but they're buying the experience. And that experience has to tie to your product really tightly. And that's why I hope that over time, product people say, wow, like part of my product is this team and this process, it's not just the software. Nobody buys the software. Like they buy
the outcomes,
solution, right? And it's actually really interesting because like an example like is very tangible for people is OpenAI. Yeah. So, and actually we have an OpenAI CS leader who's going to be on stage at Pulse. And OpenAI has a big CSM team. Or is growing CSM.
GTM, yeah.
Right. Well, GTM, but specifically a CSM team. So they have a GTM team and then within that CSM team. And it's funny because, people say, oh, ChatGPT, why would you need a CSM? Like we all use it, right? Because they have a ChatGPT enterprise and they want to get companies to change the way they work. So they use AI first. And that takes humans, right?
Yep.
And so I think in that example, to make ChatGPT work in a company, the product is the combination of the technology, which is mind blowing, and the human beings that make that technology real, you know? And I'm sure you've, Josh, even updated AI, right? It's very automated what y'all do, but you still have to change behavior, right? Or maybe yours doesn't require anything. You just like sign up and it starts generating revenue for you automatically, right? Is that how it works? I think we lost Josh for my joke. Okay.
That's right. He's the worst of us. So we're good.
About it. Get your internet update.
He's very pensive. It's very pensive.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I'm back. I paid the internet bills. All right, we got one.
All right.
We have time for one more question before Nick has to bounce.
Yes.
Kristi, John, Rochambeau, like one question. Lob it up there for Nick.
Go, Kristi. You have the one.
No, I was taking this a ton of different ways. We already kind of talked to AI.
Okay, I've got a BS question. Okay, you go.
Fine, go with your BS first.
No, I just want to know how
You've got
is
20
U2 at the
less
Sphere?
seconds now for Nick's response. Nick,
Go,
ask
John.
your own question.
Yeah, Sphere is amazing. If very, very privileged to be able to go, but if you get a chance to go,
Nick, what's the top priority for you? After Pulse, right? After Pulse, you like next day off. What then is the number one priority for you with Gainsight for the rest of the year?
Yeah, we always rank them, so it's probably no surprise. The number one thing for us right now is we call human first AI, the thing we're talking about, and just getting AI into every part of our product. And I think every company's doing this. It's like, how do you steer the ship so that everything you're doing is leveraging AI? It's not just about AI. And you know, when you're a company like UpdateAI, you did that from the beginning, right? When you're coming like Gainsight or anyone that's been around well, you have to kind of get every team and every part of your company to think, you can really do everything better with AI. So yeah, that's our number one. And number two is maybe getting a like big sign with my name on it for my Zoom background.
You definitely should, Nick. I highly recommend.
Kristi has a person.
See, unlike you, Nick, not everyone knows my name. Everyone knows your name, but I have to remind them. So that's why I put it behind me and on my mic and on my necklace and everywhere else.
We've also got the tattoos too. Like we have the.
I do. Yeah. Nick, I became a brand.
It's an enterprise. It's an enterprise. But Nick, I think. Yeah, I think people prefer to see your board meeting notes.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think you should keep that back.
I took a screenshot and we'll zoom in later, Josh.
Yeah, thanks, Nick.
All right, have a good week, everyone.
Bye,
Thanks,
Nick. Good luck at Pulse.
Happy Pulse.
See ya. Bye.
Are we done? Are we recording? Are we staying on? Are we
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Nick Mehta.
Yeah,
we love him.
He was great. He rolls.
How are we going to end
this
podcast, guys? Kristi, are you going to Pulse or is Josh? Just Josh?
I can't go. I can't make it to St. Louis.
Yeah, I won't be there either.
I'm looking forward to going to St. Louis.
We have our company offsite that same week, so we'll be ideating and spending time together.
That's awesome.
In the mountains of Utah.
Should we just do a part
I'll be in Colorado.
Go. You're going to be at your son's graduation. Tell us.
Yeah,
Tell us more.
So my eldest graduates from high school. He's 18 and taking on the world.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited. We had a little happy tears when I got the invite and the announcements and stuff like that. So
that's super
pretty cool.
Exciting.
He's going to listen to this podcast. Love you, Connor.
Does Connor listen to the podcast?
He does every time. Everyone.
Oh, really?
Now that I know that,
I know. I'll be nicer.
No. We're cool.
Well,
he loves it.
Okay.
He's like, that Josh is a dick. He's like, yeah.
He is. I know. Okay.
But
he's also a little
inside.
anemic.
You need to pinch your cheeks before we get you on camera, Josh.
For all the folks listening, Kristi and John think I need a tan, and they're right.
Yeah. But Josh, have fun at Pulse this week. Kristi, the way that you said that was
at this point we have no more listeners anyways. Nick left, people bounced. So we're good.
It's all good. But have fun at Pulse. I can't wait to hear how it goes next week. Make sure that we get some time on the pod next week to get updates on that.
Yeah, I'll tag you, John.
Thanks, man. It's all about the views, baby.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great week ahead.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.